High-profile Liberal candidate is vowing to be an independent voice for the New South Wales South Coast, dodging questions over lingering bad blood with the Prime Minister. Political reporter Trudy McIntosh spoke exclusively with Andrew Constance, who's vying for the seat of Gilmore at this year's election.
Mr Constance, the Prime Minister flew straight here to Gilmore. What does that say about his campaign?
Well, look, we're going to make this about the community. We're going to park the politics. We're about the community in this election campaign. We've got a positive plan for Gilmore, centering around obviously jobs and making sure that people are protected. We've seen a lot of hardship in the region, and I think it's really great to have, a recognition that we've got to get our roads rebuilt after all the damage we've seen from, basically recent flooding events and the ongoing challenges that we've seen. So people are doing it fairly tough at the moment, and they really don't want a highly political campaign environment in Gilmore. They're after a positive campaign and a positive plan. That's what we're up to.
Is this a sign, though, that the PM believes this is a seat he can flip in New South Wales?
Well, look, again, that's up to you guys to decide that. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, which is just getting around the community, supporting the community, making the election about the community. Certainly with the hardship we've seen, still a lot of people with trauma. We've got, over the hill here, Kangaroo Valley, they've got challenges in terms of access to the north. Those small businesses are suffering. We want to make sure that we're building on the plans that we've seen. The budget sets us up well in terms of a positive plan for the nation, but when you drive it down at a local level, it is about repairing the local roads, making sure that we're supporting the community with improvements to the Princess Highway and those types of things.
I saw Gladys Berejiklian was here on the ground a few Saturdays ago. Will we see Gladys Berejiklian a part of your campaign going forward? No,
look, Glad was here to be thanked. She came to the region to say thank you to the community leaders, but it was a wonderful opportunity to say thank you to her. I mean, if you look at her time as Premier, steering the state through COVID, steering the state through bushfires, she's a long-time personal friend of mine, but it was really a great opportunity to bring community leaders to say thank you. So she wasn't campaigning, but it was lovely to have her here.
You won't be campaigning at all going forward?
Well, she's got a job in the private sector and she's a private citizen nowadays. And look, she's a tremendous, tremendous leader that the country and the state has had. And look, it's, I'm sure everyone would love to have her on their campaign trail, but to that end, she's also a private citizen.
I suppose the follow-up is, does everyone want Scott Morrison on the campaign trail? There's no love lost, the elephant in the room, your comments in 2019. Is he actually helpful for you on the ground?
Look, I mean, it's not my gig to be commenting on those types of things. The reality is that he, like I, want to see the community prioritised first and foremost with this campaign with a positive plan at a regional and local level. As I've said previously, he'd expect me to stick up for the region, and that's exactly what I'm about. Fiercely independent voice for our people here and making sure that we get the best outcomes. And look, in terms of all of that, I mean, at the end of the day, a presidential style campaign between he and Albo is, one thing. But if it's about the local community, that's what this campaign should be about.
Do you think people really buy, though, that the bad blood's gone? Is that really, you're just papering over this because you both want to win an election?
Well, look, I mean, the thing is that if you look at his leadership versus Albanese's leadership, we're hearing about a budget to be handed down after the election from the Labor Party. Well, what the hell's in it? Increased taxes. And we've just had a really good budget handed down, which tackles things like local infrastructure, cost of living measures, keeping our regional economy and our national economy strong. I mean, if you look at the nation, compare us to the States where there's been over 1 million deaths to COVID, and look at our country. Look at the fact we grew during COVID as an economy, and look at the fact that our unemployment rate was expected to be 15 and it's 4%. Regional economies, yep, we've got challenges, there's no doubt about that, and that's why it's really important that we continue to stay the course, not be distracted by that type of politics, and that's exactly what I'll do, and I know that that's the expectation of the PM on me.
Mr Constance, thanks so much for your time.
Good on you, Trudy.
Trudy McIntosh there speaking to Andrew Constance last night.